Hello there, Professor McSweeney. This is my response to week 6. The question posed states, what are some things you might consider when implementing in order to minimize cyberbullying in school? So I did a lot of research on this, and actually one of the papers that I'm writing for this class discusses cyberbullying in a lot of detail. So I'm very familiarized with this topic, and I think this is something that we should definitely be covering in class. I think it's cannot be a more timely, time to discuss such an issue. I think it's very relevant and very prevalent in our school systems, even down to from elementary to high school. So I think this is something that we should really certainly be discussing. Okay, so in what to consider when implementing cyberbullying in schools, I think first and foremost that the schools need to have an overwhelming definition of the word bullying. So when I was researching, I found the definition, it was characterized by intensive and intentional aggressive behavior that involves an imbalance of power and or strength. And this is not something that's kind of deemed as a one-time offense. So if it's a one-time occurrence where a student has a photo on Instagram, for example, and someone makes a negative or derogatory comment, yes, that could be considered cyberbullying. However, the definition that I have referenced deems bullying or cyberbullying as something that has occurred, a few times. So past incidences of this. And then also, I think that the staff needs to be on the same page in terms of classifying what bullying is. So is cyberbullying one mean comment, or is it 3 mean comments, or is it, posting something nasty or unfollowing a student or block, like what is their definition of cyberbullying? Everyone in the school system at that specific school site needs to be on the same page. So the staff should all be clear in terms of what the difference is between teasing and bullying, and they should know how the students are expected to behave. And then you have to keep in mind with this that there should be different levels of expectancy for different grade levels. So for example, you're not going to hold elementary students to the same accountability or maybe have them follow the same regimen as you would for a high school student. I think having open communication and really educating the students on cyberbullying and what this looks like and the consequences and emotional effects of this could be very helpful. So the school counselors doing like an in-class lecture or lesson on what cyberbullying is, how to identify it, and what the cause and effects are. I think that could be very successful, having some sort of a classroom lectures or lessons during class time, obviously with the appropriation of the teachers as well. And then, I think that once an incident like this does occur, it often tends to spread like wildfire. So if you can try and isolate the students that are the bully and the victim, and, kind of separate them from the pack so that all students are not affected by this, or it just doesn't get to gossiping and a bunch of, further consequences from this one event. I think that is probably the most helpful thing to do. So kind of clearing the scene, if you will, and just focusing on those 2 individuals and trying to minimize the interaction of other students, into the mix. So I'm very happy that we're discussing cyberbullying. I think it's a very relevant issue, and thank you. Bye.